I'm having a lot of anger coming through and also this feeling of power because I'm not going to take anyone's shit anymore. And I realize how hard it is to break out of the conditioning of the society and how much in my situation I'm surrounded by people and their mentality about sacrificing your own happiness for the good of the group and the family. It's an old paradigm that's dying. I also have Uranus on my fourth house IC cusp, so I'm very much a radical in this idea about breaking free from the family mentality. We call it the penta in human design. When a certain amount of people get together, there's this group mentality that's really sticky and everyone kind of links into it. And I'm just seeing that so clearly. The new paradigm is to be in your authority, to know deep within what's correct for you, and to follow that. That doesn't mean you're going to not do anything for anybody. That just means that you're going to come from a place of real energy, true authentic energy. And if everybody lives like that, the frequency of the planet will even out, so we'll be living in harmony, and no one is going to be living off of I should be doing this. Like, shoulds are over. They're so old paradigm. Let me backtrack a little bit. A few days ago, I had a past life regression session. She calls it actually deep memory process with a woman named Patricia Walsh. She uses the chart in evolutionary astrology perspective to help you go back into your psyche and remember lives and take you through the time of death and then have you relive the death. And then what you do is you go into the upper realms in the spirit world and you get healing and you reconcile with those in that lifetime that you had an issue with. And then she takes me to the highest realm, to the ascended masters, and she has me ask them, what was the purpose of that life? So we did this. It was my second session. And she had me, we were looking at the Mars in my chart, because when you have your south and your north nodes, the south node is our past lives, or where we're coming from, what we're used to. And then the north node in our chart is what we're moving towards, what our soul wants us to evolve to. And in my case, there's this north node, Pluto, Sun, and Mercury, all together in my third house of Libra. So Pluto really wants me to express myself, and here I am. Express this power, and like the sun wants me to, Pluto, Sun, North Node conjunction, it's like all about this lifetime, realizing my identity, who I am separate from the group. And, and then in the chart, when you have a planet squaring, but which means a 90-degree angle to those nodes, that's called a skipped step. So it's somewhere in your past where these themes are like looping and looping and looping and getting you stuck in the past. And for me, Mars is a skipped step, and Mars is in Cancer. So my will has been subdued by Cancer, which is family. So my personal will, my power has been wrapped into a family mentality and has been subdued by the obligations and the identification with the group and with the family, with the tribe. And there's nothing wrong with that, but what I'm feeling and what I'm discovering now is that it's being freed because I did this past life session. I want to try to sum it up quickly for you. She had me start out, so we're working with my Mars, so she had me start out laying on the bed, my eyes covered, to grip my fists and tense my whole body and say, I am right, I'm right, I'm right, why isn't anyone listening to me? With my south node and ninth house, Aries, righteousness has definitely been a theme that I've been working with in this life. Like, my way is not always the right way. So that's the theme we started with. I started really tensing my body and feeling this anger. And immediately, it was really quick, this image came through of a man standing on a rock wall. And the man was yelling, and I didn't see all this, the way that it comes through for me, it's like little pieces. So I don't know the story until I get the image. And the image was a man standing on the rock wall and screaming, "Come this way, I know the way, come this way." And everyone was running out of the village gate and going another way. And I saw my wife and children, and they were going another way. And I was really frustrated because they were going to get caught. And what happened? Well, the village I was living in was being burned. And I was trying to save people by bringing them this other way across this bridge. So she had me go to the next scene. And the next scene, I was riding through a forest really fast. And I was and then in my real self, laying on the bed, was like hyperventilating. Like, this character just overtook my whole body. It was super intense. And I was crying and hyperventilating. But the man was running, and he chased down these 2 Native Americans, and he took their heads off. He was angry. And then he was scared and angry and confused about what to do next. And I spent some time in the forest, sitting there by a fire, like ready to defend myself, just totally terrified and trying to figure out what my plan was. And then he went and stood by some bushes looking at the Indian village where my wife and kids were held captive in a cage. It was like a stick cage with a bunch of other villagers. And I was not sure what to do. I felt like I needed to get help. And instead of getting help, the next scene, I was being the savior. And that's definitely another theme in my life, trying to be the savior. I just lost it and went in a rage just ran on my horse into the village with a torch and started lighting their stuff on fire, their houses, their teepees. And then went around to the cage and just slashed it open and started running with my family. And my kids were running ahead of me, and me and my wife were running next to each other, and I got shot in the back with a couple arrows. And then as we started going in the forest, both of us, me and my wife and I, got shot multiple times. And my kids and the last thing I was saying was, "Go, run, run." I was telling my kids to run into the forest. And my wife and I fell on the ground, and we were dying. And someone came, a Native American guy came, flipped us over, and he slit my throat and slit my wife's throat. And I died with this incredible anger in me. And I died slowly. And I was so angry because they burned my village and they're going to kill my kids. But as she had me go to the complete death in this lifetime, he didn't leave. He didn't take the light because he wanted to find his children. And he wanted to know whether they were safe or not. So he was walking in this life as an angry ghost in the forest looking for his children. And what happens is we have these lifetimes where, we die like that, and then a part of our soul stays in that state. So part of my soul was in this state of being angry and looking for my children. So she had me call on another family member from that lifetime I found my kids and they were dead too. They had gotten killed. So then I had she said to have a family member come down and get you and bring you to the spirit world. So my father showed up. He was like this metal worker guy. It just came, and he came and he took me up. We healed my body. I reunited with my family. It was very healing and very sweet. They were all happy and fine, and as I saw them that they were happy and fine, my soul started to get healing and started to relax, and then she had me get healing from a couple angels. They bathed me, they washed me clean, they healed my sores from the arrow wounds, and they healed my throat. It was very profound and sacred. And then she had me bring in the 2 Native Americans that I killed, and to reconcile with them and to look at them and say what I had to say to them. Well, I was forgiving of them, but it was difficult to forgive them. But what I got was that one of them showed me that he started the fire in my village out of rage because his child was killed by one of my people. And he went without permission from his tribe, and he went and he started that fire. And just because it was part of the tribal pact, before it was too late, they came to help him. So they had to get on his side because they had to support him and protect him. So what we thought was an attack by the Native American tribe was really just a man who was angry who lost his child and was angry, and that he was getting revenge. So I saw, it was just the cycle of violence that this humanity is in. And as that man up in the spirit world, I saw that and I forgave him. And they showed me I was one of them. I was a Native American at some point. And so we were brothers. And then she had me create a new world up in the spirit world where we were living together. We were sharing knowledge. And together we lived in harmony, and then we also had these ceremony circles where we were guiding people down on the earth plane who were about to commit violence, racist violence, and needed guidance. So that was that part. And then she had me go up another level to the Ascended Masters and to ask them, what was that life about? And the message I got was the family was taken away from me because I was overly identified. I saw myself in that lifetime as just this like Capricorn, Taurus, very responsible man, taking care of his family, and not really having any identity outside of that, which is fine, and it's perfectly fine. And I think, fathers who are dedicated to their family are wonderful. But then she had me ask them, show me some other lifetimes where you were overly identified with your family. And so I got a couple images of one, I was a little boy in the back of a carriage filled with straw, riding with my father, and I knew I was trapped because I had to take over his business, whatever it was. But I was basically destined to do that, and it felt confining. In another lifetime, my family all got the plague, and I had to take care of them. So one important thing she had me do was to tell that man that life is over. It's over, it's over. And that's a big part of the therapy, is to cut the cord, finish off the lifetime. Just the message that, I'm not different than I wasn't separate, or I wasn't different than my Native American brothers. And it was to learn about that fundamental wound of being angry and then perpetuating the vicious cycle. But that man, before that incident, he was living in a very peaceful, happy state, and there was some repressed anger that he wasn't in touch with. So I don't know where that comes from, but we didn't explore that. But yeah, so I guess it's important. We all have anger in us, and Fists of Anger is a wonderful Kundalini yoga exercise to really get that anger out, because it's all in us, and we never know if there's going to be an incident where all of a sudden we're going to get triggered, and then we're so angry, out of control, angry from all the repressed anger, that we do something stupid like go and kill somebody. So that was a couple days ago, and then the full moon was conjunct my Mars last night. And yesterday, I had a confrontation with one of my family members, and she's really angry. She's angry at me for abandoning the family, or basically for abandoning the family. And I've been through this 7-year cycle of going into hell, and I basically, I disappeared. And I didn't show up for family functions because I was in a state of depression and fatigue so intense, and facing these demons so intense, that I had to do it alone. And also I knew I was so conditioned, and I had to get away from all of the mentality of this world, that I knew, something's off. It's not quite right. So I isolated myself, and I've been accused of being very selfish. And there's this word that keeps coming at me, you're selfish. Well, yeah, I'm selfish because I freaking had to save my life. And what I'm seeing is that now that I'm coming into this new power, and this new, Thrive is giving me energy, so my aura is getting bigger and stronger. And it's true what they say, when you start coming into your power, there are going to be forces that are going to push against you and test you. And these voices of you're selfish and you need to get professional help, I've also been told that, I need to get, someone suggested I get on antidepressants and that I get professional help. And, they're coming from their paradigm of, don't feel your feelings, suppress them, take a medication, keep going on with your mechanical robotic life, so that you don't have to feel your feelings. And that just, it wasn't going to be my path. Yeah, I've been, I almost checked out of this world a couple times, but I'm so glad I didn't get on antidepressants. I'm so grateful to my friend Sarah for guiding me in this direction of facing my stuff. And if you want to be free, if you want to not be under the control of the societal and collective conditioning, which says you got to work an 8-hour shift, you got to watch TV and buy a bunch of stuff, and you got to keep busy and be entertained all the time to be happy. There's a big force. There are powerful forces that want to keep us stuck and controlled. And when you try to break free, when you start to try to break free, it is not easy. Those forces will push you down and make you feel like you're going crazy. And So you gotta want it. You need to want to awaken to your true nature in order to get there. And it's gonna take time, and it's gonna take some courage to face your thoughts and all of the stuff that's been planted in your mind that's not you. And you don't really have to do anything, just to be with it, just to allow the feelings to come and to feel them and to purge. You will be doing humanity a favor by doing that work. So yeah, my Mars is coming back, and I am not taking anyone's shit anymore. I can see that I'm going to be challenged by my environment, and I am not going to give in. as a manifester, generators want you to be a part of the group and do the group thing and, sacrifice your happiness for the group. And, my sister's having her birthday, and I love my sister, and she's going to Vegas. And my mom said, oh, you should go to Vegas. And I said, no, that's not my place at all. I hate Vegas. I hate the energy there. It brings me down. It's a really sick place, actually. And, she mentioned that sometimes you have to sacrifice your happiness for others. Anyone who wants to break free from the old paradigm, it's not about that anymore. It's about having your own authority. And if your own authority says go to Vegas, go to Vegas. If your own authority says, make a present for someone, which I still do, and I'm still going to help people, and I'm still going to be there for people. But if my authority doesn't say good, go for it, I am not going to do it. I am so ready to be done with the bullshit of that paradigm of do what you don't want to do for the happiness of others, because it's not serving anyone. It's not serving anyone to go against what your energy wants to do and be out of alignment with your own energy. It's not serving anyone, and we need to stop this collective bullshit. All right, well, thanks for listening to my little rant, and that's my update. Day 6 of Thrive. Feeling much better. Yesterday I was processing this past life regression, and the moon in Cancer, so I was definitely a little bit more tired. And I'm still processing it. It's still happening. But I'm going to stick with this program because it's definitely helping my energy, and it's making me feel so much better and more powerful. And woo! Thanks for being supportive on my journey if you've been with me. And if you want more information about Thrive and you want to give it a try, you can email me at the address right here. I'm going to put it on the screen. I don't want to put it in the comments because I don't want to get spammed like crazy. So much love to you on your healing journey, and I will see you next time.